Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Unexpected Success with me, your host Joy. This is our first vodcast.
I love it.
Got Pe'a Monique in the studio
Woo-hoo!
Today, and
Yes.
thanks so much for coming.
Of course.
And we're gonna just jump into some things. I just want to say this is the first vodcast of hopefully many. Shout to Brandis for calling me out and making me get in front of the cameras. It's unnatural, but here we are, right? So it's only out of the love and adoration I have for you, Brandis. But Pia's gonna help me get through this, right?
Of course.
We're gonna get through.
We're gonna get through it together. We'll get through it together.
Okay, cool. So, welcome listeners and now followers, right? Here we are in the studio with Pe'a Monique, and Pe'a Monique is a serial entrepreneur, marketing and finance veteran, founder and curator of StyleOneEighty, which is a luxury wardrobe concierge service.
Yes,
so happy
it
to
is.
have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Pia, I just want to jump into it.
Okay, let's
Right?
go.
So, okay. So where are you from?
I am from Essex County in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yes.
What town?
So I'm from Newark.
Okay.
Everyone
Shout
knows
out to Newark. Right.
Newark, Brick City.
Right. You know, we podcasted with Mickey Taylor. And
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so she's from Newark, right?
Is she?
Yeah, she's from Newark, right?
She is from Newark.
Yeah. She
yes.
shouts out, like she reps it like hard.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I love that.
I love Newark.
Right.
I just, I don't know. It's so big. It's not just Newark. So
Right.
I don't want to be like relegated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah.
get relegated. But I mean, there's a lot of patriotic people for Newark. Like they love it.
No,
love it,
people
love it.
shout it out. People shout it out. So,
Yeah.
so how was it? Like, how was it growing up there?
Growing up in Newark was kind of like Crooklyn. You ever
Right.
saw the movie Crooklyn?
Absolutely.
So, it was a lot of porches in the summer as a kid.
Yeah.
It was a lot of free activities as a kid. It was no real vacations.
Yeah.
It was like the when you don't know you're poor
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
childhood.
Which is nice.
It was nice. It
Because
was
it's
no
communal,
pressure. It was very
like
communal.
right, you have the block.
Exactly. It was
Right.
the block. It was very much all of that.
Yeah.
It was fun, actually. I just always felt like, well, when I got older, like, wow, I didn't know it was this whole world out here when I
Right.
got out of the city.
When did you actually get out the city? How old were you?
I was 18 when I didn't go far. I
Right.
went to William Patterson and Wayne, and I
Okay.
stayed on campus. So not that it was so far, it was like 25 minutes away, but there were people from so many different parts of New Jersey
Right.
and New York that I was like, oh, okay, never heard of that
It
town,
kind of
never
gave you
heard
the
of
little
that.
taste of like,
Yeah,
Right.
gave me a taste of, the diversity in the state of New Jersey and just like different styles. And I think that's where I really started to get into fashion and kind of like cultivate my personal style, because the girls from New York, there was girls from DC,
right.
Philly, it was a lot of that. And I was like, oh, well, she looks cute. Like, what is this?
So question. So I know that StyleOneEighty is a luxury wardrobe concierge service. Did you always have a thing for fashion, or when did you realize like were you the little girl who was like, getting the Barbie doll clothes and swishing it up?
It was a real
You were
thing.
that.
It was so obsessive, though. Like, it's so bad. I would never play with baby dolls.
Right.
I only would play with Barbie dolls. And, like, if my friends wanted to play with the baby dolls and tried to mix them with the Barbie dolls, I would have a fit.
Like, no, these are adults. These are children.
Exactly. I was very much that.
Right.
And, I wanted all of the additional outfits for my Barbies. But I still didn't peg it to fashion. I just felt like I liked, the pink with the Barbie and the
Right.
clothes. I never really, I guess I was really young, right? I think what really, really inspired me was I watched the stories with my mom.
Right. Which stories? Channel
Like,
what?
I think
Which
it was
channel?
like Channel 7.
Yeah, so All My Children, One Life to
Yeah.
Live. Yeah, those are my stories.
Those are your stories? Okay.
Phelan mentioned stories the other day. It's so funny. She was like, I'm watching my story.
Yes. They were
Right.
so dolled up and so
Right.
beautiful. And I would
Yeah.
take my nightgowns and I would try and twist them up and make them to like evening gowns and try and make my
So
hair
you
longer.
always had that niche. Now,
I
what did you go to
did.
school for?
I initially went to school for sociology.
Okay.
And it's a long road to how I got to fashion, but I went to school for sociology. I was a social worker for 2 years. I taught 5th grade for 2 years, and I worked in banking for 2 years.
Wait, slow down,
I know.
Slow up.
I
Okay.
know.
Wait, so you were a sociology major. Now, did you know that you wanted to become a school teacher with that major?
No.
So what was your goal?
I had no goal. I was not into school. I knew that I had to go and get something
Right.
after high school.
Your upbringing? I'm sorry, I skipped this.
My upbringing was very much like, kind of like free wielding. Like, what are you going to do? If that's what you're going to do, then do that.
Siblings?
Yes.
You have a...
I have 3 sisters and a brother.
Okay, and where do you fit in that line?
I am the second to the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, both parents in the household?
No.
Okay.
So my dad remarried.
Okay.
I live with my mom.
Okay.
My other sibling, well, no, second to the last out of the girls. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm the third to the last.
When you have a lot of siblings, you gotta be like, oh wait,
Yeah.
hold on, where do I fit in this?
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm the third to the last. So my brother was a lot older, and he was like the all-star, right? He went to the Air Force, computer science major, had a condo in Manhattan at like 21.
Everybody, right?
Who can compete with that?
Who starts there? What's wrong with you?
What is happening?
Right,
He's 21 with a condo in Manhattan. He's in LA now. He's a professor at the University of, California, I think. He's like an engineering.
So he's just badass.
He's like badass. He's living in Santa Ana. Then it kind of trickles down. It goes slippery slope.
No. We're not going to go. We're just going to say that we all have different paths.
We definitely had different paths. I'm just not a brainiac like him.
Right. It's
definitely not. But so in that realm, everyone knew that I wanted to be in fashion, and I think like my siblings really, really supported me in that. I have a sister that's younger than me, and she really supported me a lot. She's super creative. She has an MBA in IT, and even though she's like super smart when it comes to books and analytics, she was able to help me creatively so much in the beginning. And, all right, that support helped me.
So sociology, you just did that because you didn't know what major to pick and you just chose that,
exactly.
which by the way, I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
So, and so then you end up being a teacher for 2 years in 5th grade. How were the kids? What town did you do it?
In Newark.
In Newark. How was that?
It was interesting how it started because
that's patience. Pia, do you have patience?
It didn't require a lot of patience.
Really?
You know what? I'm very stern. I'm very standoffish
I don't
with
get
children.
That from you. Oh, with children. Oh, okay.
Because I know you have to set your boundaries early. I knew that from having younger siblings, and they always respected me. I never really had any problems. It really wasn't stressful, honestly. And for it to be 5th grade, it was good.
Wow.
It was good.
I think I still have trauma from 5th grade.
I did a lot of therapy.
Right,
I did a lot of the peer pressure and the ganging up on people and teasing and home life issues. I did a lot of that, but it was good.
So I guess at that point your sociology kind of kicked in.
It really did kick in.
Yeah.
It really did kick in. And just understanding the administration and understanding where these kids came from, it was a lot of that, but I enjoyed it very much.
All right, so how did you get into finance? How did that pivot happen?
When I was working as a teacher, I worked part-time in collections at Champion Mortgage.
Okay.
Just for fun money, and when I decided that I didn't want to, I said, let me figure out, what I want to do. And I put teaching on hold because the loan officers at the bank, I became friends with them and they were making so much money. And I'm like, you're making more, and I'm working these 2 jobs.
Right.
And I'm like, let me see if I can do this. So I didn't initially go into becoming a loan officer. I started as a mortgage processor. So I would, collect information and process it for, home loans. And I just continued with that until the company went out of business. When the company went out of business, I went to FIT.
Oh, wow.
I took my severance package and went to FIT.
That's awesome. Okay, so at this point, what's going through your brain?
I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
So you have some money, right?
I have some money.
But now you have time, right? Because money equals time.
Exactly.
Right? So,
I have freedom.
Right, you have freedom.
Yes.
So why FIT? What did you want to do then?
Oh, I wanted to go to FIT forever. I was stalking Misa, stalking her, emailing her every day.
Right.
Because people were, when I first came to corporate, I can show my style now. It's not like teaching. So people were, oh, you look so nice, da-da-da. And, just continuing with shopping and things like that, I really got into it more and more and more. And I went to shopping with a girl. She was signed to Universal Records at one point. She was a singer. We just went shopping one day, and she was like, you know all the names of all these clothes in here. I don't even know this stuff. She was like, you should be a stylist. And I was like, a stylist?
What's that? Right.
What's a stylist?
It's like you hear, like, it's like the twinkles coming.
Exactly.
Right.
And it just took that.
Right.
And I started researching, and maybe like 8 months later, the company went out of business. And I said, yep, I'm going to be a stylist.
And you're like, perfect.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Wow. So what did you get a degree at FIT?
I went through a certificate program.
Okay.
Because I wanted to do hands-on, and I wanted to see how it felt. And during that time, I also was in a certificate program at NYU for public relations. So I was doing it together. So I could like understand the whole, because I felt like I was behind, right? So I didn't have time to go through school again, get a degree and all that. So I just needed the information.
Right.
And I got it.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So listeners, you hear that you don't have to go get the degree.
No.
You can still have the experience and get whatever certification you need
exactly.
to do whatever you want, right?
Certificates are so underrated.
Right.
People just really, you can cut a lot of corners if you have the intellect to know how to use I guess you want to call it like a cheat sheet, because everything's hands-on. It's less background.
Yeah.
If you do the background on your own, you can get the credentials for just doing the hands-on.
Right.
And people are respected if it's from a credible school.
That's good advice, guys. That's good advice.
Yes.
Good advice. Okay, so now you have your certification from FIT.
Yes.
Now what do you do?
This is the funniest part. So first of all, during the time I was at FIT, I was always working fashion weeks. Working backstage, dressing the models, getting to know the designers, working under the tents in Bryant Park, seeing these amazing celebrities pass me, seeing like Naomi Campbell, seeing all these amazing people. And I'm just like in awe of everything. And I'm like, this is going to be my life as soon as I graduate.
Oh, right.
I graduated. They were like, here you go. Figure it out.
Good luck.
And I was like,
take care.
Exactly.
Be well. Right.
Be well. So I called the school, and I was like, I'm looking for a job. I called like the career center.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you have to figure it out on your own. And I got so mad. I was like, what? I spent all this time. You don't even have a referral for me.
Right.
So I just did everything on my own. I never assisted anybody.
So what did you do exactly?
I started getting teams together and doing photo shoots. I would find people on Model Mayhem, and I would get these teams. I would say, hey, I'm doing a shoot. Paper Magazine is looking for this concept. They're taking submissions. Just looking up, Numero Magazine is taking submissions. Let's do this concept, and let's try and submit it. And see if they accept
so you have photographers. I
have photographers,
you found the models, and you would just
makeup
shoot.
Artists, everything. And we would find a location and shoot. And I did some amazing high-end photo shoots with new designer
So then how does that
pieces.
work? So then you do these shoots, right? Unsolicited, right?
Right.
And how do you just submit it to the magazine?
Right. So I'm not sure if they still do it now, but I'm sure they do, because where would they get all those content? So if you go to the magazine's website, it'll say if they're accepting submissions or not. If they're accepting submissions, they'll tell you what the concept is. So say the concept is fairy tale, Alice in Wonderland. You say, okay, cool. You do your spin and your take on Alice in Wonderland, and you submit it to the magazine.
That's amazing. I never knew this.
Yes.
Like this is like, I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Never knew that. Okay.
And that's how I got published a bunch of times. A lot of international magazines. We would like really work hard, like as if we were getting paid.
I mean, that's so amazing.
Yeah, it was intense.
It was a grind, but I mean, it was worth
grind.
It was
so worth it. I mean,
is your money running out now? Like, how's your money?
I have
looking?
no money. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Money.
Right, because I'm kind of like, I'm like, okay, so wait, so you're going on Model Mayhem. You got photographers on Dial.
Right.
You're doing all this.
No one's getting paid.
But where's your money coming from?
I'm still living off of my severance.
Oh.
I'm still living off of my severance.
From the bank.
From the bank.
Right. Okay.
So I'm doing these shoots and all of these things. So my money runs out. As my money's running out, reality is.
Now, are you home now? Or you?
I'm home.
Okay.
No, I'm still in my own apartment. Not home.
You have your own place.
I think that I could.
Where's the money coming from?
Listen.
Okay.
It was just it was just working out for a while.
Okay.
So then it's When it stopped, I was so broke, like you don't even know. Like,
right. No, I can imagine. I'm just like, I'm going through the timeline. I'm like,
yes.
money start severance here, and then
Yes, the money was, and
Right.
by this time I was living in Maplewood, which is not it's a part of New Jersey, but it's
Right.
it's semi upscale. Like, it's not
No,
cheap.
Maplewood is nice.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
I
It's
know a
not cheap.
family there. Hi, family. I
Yes.
won't mention. Who
I
you
love
are.
Maplewood.
Yeah, Maplewood is very nice.
Yes, and so the
Okay.
rent wasn't cheap at
Yeah.
all. So I'm like, okay, let me figure it out. So I didn't have anything. I was probably about to get put out. I didn't get a notice or anything, but I didn't know I didn't have any money coming in. I had taken a test for Verizon.
Okay.
And don't you know, I came home one day and they were like, come to this interview on this day. And I was like, do I go to this interview and
Right.
put everything on hold?
But that's
Or-
money there, so it's like kind of like money. At this point, you need money.
I needed money so badly.
Right.
So, of course, I took the job.
Right. You have to do that. So that's a lesson too, right? Like that's you. Sometimes you have to go for the money because you have to finance your passion.
You have to finance your passion. And one thing I've learned, you cannot be creative if you're stressed.
At all.
You cannot. You can't. And
Right.
it's hard to tell somebody take the job, but take the job.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I needed benefits. My
Yeah.
Cobra had run out.
Right.
I had no savings. Take the job.
Take the
It was
job.
like $1,400 a week.
Yeah.
Take the job.
Take the job.
So, so I worked at Verizon. I hadn't graduated yet from FIT. I was still in school. So, reason being I took the job, they covered, because I was paying out of pocket for the certificate. Verizon covered FIT and NYU. They covered those classes. I had insurance by that point.
It's kind of no brainer. It's like, so not only is it $1,400 a week, but then it's also covering your schooling.
Covering my schooling. So then by that point, I was still doing my shoots, but now I have a lot of stress relief.
Well, yeah,
you know?
now you living.
Now I'm living.
Yeah, you loosened up a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm feeling more confident.
Right,
I feel
right,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like stressed out and struggling. So I continued to do my shoots. Couldn't take any jobs though. I couldn't work during Fashion Week anymore.
Right.
I couldn't do these things anymore. And I was losing my connections with the people that I had built these relationships with.
Right.
If you're not in the mix, and that's another thing, like I would go to mixers like when I could, but the schedule wouldn't allow. And I was really, really losing contact, and I was kind of getting distracted.
So you made a sacrifice. You made a major sacrifice.
It was a big sacrifice.
But it worked out.
Because
Right.
Verizon offered a package, and I took it.
So how long were you ever? How long was your sacrifice?
Every job I've had has been 2 years.
Wow.
No longer.
Okay. So
I don't know if it's me or them.
you take the package.
I took the package. And I was only there for 2 years, so it wasn't a lot of money.
Right.
But I had to take the package because
But by this point, school is over.
School is over. Yes.
Right. So tuition is paid or whatever.
That's
whatever,
paid.
Right.
Yeah,
that's paid. And you have, I'm assuming you had some savings?
I had some savings, yes.
Right.
I
Okay.
paid down a bunch of bills. I did not upgrade my lifestyle when I
started making more money.
when I started making more money. I had a little C230 that was paid for.
Right.
I was riding that thing still to the city with it was a
Good.
mess.
Listen, it is what it is.
Had the same apartment, didn't upgrade anything. I kept everything the same. Didn't get any new credit cards because I knew what I had to do.
Right.
So after
Genius. Sacrifice. Major sacrifice.
It was
oh, my God. Because at this point, I don't know how old you are, and I won't ask, but at some point, you want to start splurging. Like, at some point.
I want to live.
And you know all the
Yes.
labels. Like, you know all the lines. You know what's
And
out.
it's hurting my heart.
And
every
you're
day.
seeing all this stuff. And so you innately, people want to splurge.
Exactly.
Right.
And you see other people, they have made their choice
Right.
and they're living their lives already.
Right.
And it's like, I'm still working
Yeah,
it out.
right.
And people are like, just like, oh,
You still
why
trying
would
to
you
work
be
it
doing
out?
that? Exactly.
Oh, girl,
You still working
The
that
shade, I
little
know.
thing. Exactly. That little fashion stuff.
The shade.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
real.
No, right.
But you have to have a level of commitment to it. I knew that I wouldn't be happy doing anything else. And I know that I can't be happy working for anybody because I just don't have that type of personality. I don't have that type of commitment to someone else.
Right.
And I just
So
don't.
what year did you leave Verizon?
I left Verizon in 2008.
2008. Okay, so in the recession.
Yes.
So you left during the recession. Yo,
A job that is paying. At this point, I think I probably was up to like $80,000 or $85,000 a year as a single person, no children.
Right.
That's a comfortable situation.
And you left.
Yeah.
Like during the recession.
During the recession. I thought this was an amazing idea.
So what did you do?
Went broke again.
I'm like, literally, I think legit almost everybody was broke in 2008. I think we were kind of all like, yo, what just happened?
But I didn't have to be broke. That was the thing.
No,
I had a union-protected job. I could have been chilling.
But you were unhappy.
I was so miserable that I just felt like my life was passing by me and everyone was doing what they wanted to do. Even the people at Verizon, except for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
let me ask you, have you always been fearless? Because like
I'm not fearless. I just don't care.
Based on this timeline.
I just don't care. Like,
but that is kind of fearlessness. Like not caring or not being.
Maybe I'm courageous. I'm fearful.
Maybe you're courageous.
I'm courageous. I'm very fearful. I'm fearful of everything. I have anxiety all the time. I'm fearful in the mall.
But you still go past it.
I go past it because I don't want to stay where I am. I just have courage.
So it's interesting because I'm risk averse. Like in general, I'm a very measured person.
Okay.
In some instances, actually, people who might be watching this like, where? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But in my mind, I take very measured steps.
Calculated risk.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you left your job during the recession, right? And you knew that it was going to work out. Like some kind of way you must have known like it's going to be okay.
I felt like I did the work. It was time for it to work out. Like I felt like I had the information from my own studies. I went to school, then I went to FIT, and then I've been networking. So I feel like I have it. Like why would they tell me no? Like
So what actually happened after 2008? So you leave, you go broke again, but what are you doing now?
So in between that time, before I went broke again, so I'm doing the shoots again.
Right.
I'm back to that.
You're back to doing shoots.
But now probably maybe like 2 months out. Was it maybe like 8 months out of me kind of like running out of money. My friend that I always shoot with, his name is Ty. He does hair. He hit me like, Pe'a, this photographer wants to shoot with us. And I'm like, okay, what is he talking about? Is it paid or what's going on?
Right.
He's like, well, it's a test for Essence magazine. And I'm like, of course. Yeah, I'm getting up.
Right.
So we get there and everyone's union. They work together all the time and they're like chilling. They're like cool with each other. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm just this girl that's trying to figure it out. And Ty's like, don't worry about it. Everyone's here. Union. We'll figure it out, whatever. Anyway, long story short, the photo editor was Deborah Broadley. She was amazing. And she kept me on and until the end of her tenure. And it was the most amazing thing that she's
and that
10
paid,
months,
right?
Yes.
So
and it was paid. And it paid me as much as I was getting at Verizon.
Unbelievable.
And it was like, finally, everything made sense.
Right.
And then I got an email from her that she was being let go.
she was leaving.
And she was like, send me your last invoice.
Right. It's been nice.
Right. So she's gone. So she was the person hiring me. And I must have emailed every editor in Essence. And they were like, oh, yeah. Talk to you later.
So nice to meet you. It was great meeting you. Take care of you well.
That's exactly what they said. Like, you were cute on set. No, I remember you. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, but I had the people that I knew at Essence. I met some really great people. And I just continue. I actually started working with a magazine called Pink Magazine.
Okay,
Mecca Moore is a publisher.
Right.
And that was my core experience.
Okay.
I say that because it's a self-published magazine. She did PR. She did events. She worked with marketing. She worked with stylists. She worked with celebrities. She worked with personalities. And because her and I had such a close working relationship, it was like I would see these people all the time and I would, be on the phone with her while she's producing things and working on things. And I was like, wow, like you're really doing all of this.
And that's the advantage of working for a small company or a small production, right? Because
It's
you
so
get a chance to
important.
have your hands on almost
Exactly.
everything, right?
And I really just did styling for the magazine, but I would be around and I would be listening to her produce events and fashion shows and, working with people and the dialogue and the jargon that was used. And one day her and I was on the phone, and this is the third time I'm running out of money again. And I'm like, Mecca, I got to do something. Like, I just started StyleOneEighty and, I don't know how to monetize it. And she said, Pe'a, you got to figure it out.
Right.
I was so mad.
I know you were. That's why I'm asking you.
I'm like, girl,
right?
You got it figured out.
Right.
Like, show me how to get to this money.
Right.
But I had been watching and paying attention to her for so long.
You knew how to do it.
I just had to do the work.
Right.
And
no one was going to give it to you.
No one was going, because no one definitely wasn't giving it to her. I watched her. And I've watched her at work and like how she like ran this small business and would get to the money.
Right.
And I said, you know what? Okay.
Bet.
I'm going to figure it out,
right.
sis.
Right. I got it.
I got it. I got this. So I started really like thinking about how I'm going to curate my page, and I started reaching out to everybody, letting them know. And they're like, Pe'a, everyone follows StyleOneEighty. Like everyone knows this page.
I've been I don't know how long I've been following.
Oh, you follow? I didn't even know you followed.
Oh no, I've
really?
been following it for years. It's not even
really?
like I mean,
God.
literally, it's not 1 year. It's probably since like. When did I get on IG? Maybe 2015?
Really? Oh
when
my
did you
goodness.
start?
Probably the end of 2015.
Yeah,
I love that.
I've been following you, and I forget what, you forget which post led, like what post led me to you, right?
Yes.
But it was probably something. I was like, I had my second child in 2014.
Okay.
And I was just, trying to figure out how to get myself motivated to get myself together. And so something you posted, I was like, yes.
like this is
let this girl lead me the way.
Yes. That's what I love to hear.
Here.
Right. That's what I love to hear when people say they follow me. I always want to know, like, why? Is it just for pictures and it's good to know that it's inspirational to people because fashion can be very intimidating on so many levels.
Yeah. No, I mean, sometimes it's just, like you said, it's inspo. I mean, it might have been something I couldn't afford at the time, but it was like, okay, one day.
Exactly.
I'm gonna, I'll be able to get
fashion goals.
Yeah, or it was some skinny chick that I was like, really, word, one day. You know what I mean? I'll be back. So
I'll be back to that size.
So, okay. And so, I mean, you have a lot of followers, right? I mean, you have a lot of people following you.
A lot of people do follow me, and I'm forever grateful because I remember when I had 83 followers, and I told my assistant, because I always had assistants. That's what they taught us at FIT.
Yeah.
Keep posting because they're going to follow. If we build it, they will come.
Right,
and I was relentless
about
posting.
Right.
I've changed my concept so many different times, but now it's so much of a commitment on my end and a loyalty to my followers that even though my business isn't 100% from IG anymore, I still continue
it because that's the base of it.
That's the base. And that's kind of like my calling card. So, and that's how I actually started to get money. When she told me to figure it out, I started, taking meetings. People are following StyleOneEighty. Okay, what can we do? I start meeting with brand managers.
Right.
And these are like people that I've met in my route through this whole journey.
Right.
These girls are working at Vogue. These girls are working at Hearst. And I'm meeting with them like, what can I do? What are magazines looking for? What is this? What is that? And they were like, we were just taking meetings. And I swear, I got a call one day from LaToya. What is LaToya's last name? I'm sorry, Toya, but I can't remember her last name.
Okay. And
she was working with a social media. She was starting a social media agency or something like that.
Okay.
And she said, Pe'a, I submitted your page over and your profile, and BET wants you to promote for them. And I said, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And she's like, okay, it's paying $500 for 24 hours, and they want it for 3 days. I said, wait, so I have nothing.
Yeah, right.
Okay. By then, I downsized my apartment, everything. Like, I have nothing at this point. So I'm like, what? So that's 3 days?
Right.
So they want me to post every day. Okay, I'm like, what? I'll post on Insta story too. Like, I was so like, what? I'm like, Toya, I posted
whatever I have to do,
whatever
like,
they want,
right.
whatever they want.
Right.
So I did that, and then it just was continuous. Then it was VH1. Then it was like smaller brands, and it was denim companies, and then it just became.
It just started to kind of blossom.
It just started to blossom, and I started to get a lot of inquiries about, how are you doing this? How are you living off your social media? How did you do it? And I started answering those questions to the point, I started helping brands with their social medias, and I started managing pages.
So it's even more. It's now you're doing consulting.
Now I'm doing consulting.
And advisory work.
Exactly. Now I'm helping people produce content. I'm doing photo shoots in addition to managing pages. I'm working with other influencers, doing brand partnerships.
So good.
And
it's limitless, quite honestly, right? Because I'm kind of like, yo, can I hire you? Like, I would love to. Like, yo,
yes.
No, but it's limitless because ultimately you're like this social media and communicating through.
It just turned into
these platforms isn't going anywhere, right? And so at this point, you are kind of you are an authoritative source on what to do.
Exactly.
Because you've done the work.
I've done, and when people come to me for consultation, I let them know.
Right.
These are my credentials. This is what I've done. This is why you're here. So we're not going to chat like, oh, yeah, do this, do that. No, I've done this. I know what works.
Right.
I know how to beat the algorithm for social media. I know how to get you the likes. I know how to do those things.
Well, we have a job here, Pe'a. So we have tons of clients, and that that want to know how to beat the algorithm. So
the algorithm is the
this
devil.
could also be a pool of clientele at your disposal.
Yes,
so is that how you're making your money now? Like the majority of your money comes from more at consulting and advisory, or is StyleOneEighty? Are you still doing a lot of wardrobe concierge service?
Because I can't be hands-on as much. So my consultations are over the phone,
right?
And I provide lookbooks, ebooks,
right?
So after the consultation, we discuss your style, what you're looking for, your events, whatever. We have that conversation. I send you a lookbook of your style inspiration. I pull looks from online with links to shop, so you can just basically go through 14 looks and just shop the pieces.
Awesome.
And you can do that on a monthly basis. Or you can do it intermittently based on the events you have coming up. It's up to you.
I have a girlfriend who does it seasonally.
Yes.
Right.
That's a really smart idea.
Right.
And that really helps a lot of people.
Well, yeah, no, it was great for her because literally she had after work cocktails look. Right. And then I guess the person supplied 2 looks.
Yes.
And so she felt like she was together.
Yes.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? So for that season, she had her looks.
Exactly.
Right.
And it can also give people a direction. Even if you're not buying everything at once, like people may not have the resources to buy 14 looks at one time. But if you buy 2, like you said, you're setting the tone for your look for the season. And you can kind of moderately purchase the rest.
Right.
And, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to encourage people, to find their fashion voice and make them feel comfortable in clothes. I just can't always be there
to put
physically,
it on. Right.
So I do a lot of that. Consultations and running social media pages is a big money maker for me.
Well, I'm sure you're not having trouble paying your rent now.
No.
Yeah. I love that. I love you.
Not.
I love that. So I guess, this is all about giving listeners the inspiration to just jump out there and follow their passion and get stop doing what they hate, right? And you know all about that. I mean, that's speaking directly to what you discussed, right?
Yeah.
I guess what would you tell somebody who wants to jump but it's just kind of like, ugh.
For everyone, it's going to be that anxiety and that feeling. But that feeling that you get of listening to a podcast of someone that's just like you, doing what you want to do.
Oh, yes.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Right.
You're going to feel the pain either way. So you may as well get the benefit.
I love it. I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. Yay.
You're going to get the pain.
No, I love it. The pain
Yeah.
is going to come either way.
It's going to come either way, you know?
Right,
So,
right. And you prefer the pain to come when you could do something about it, as opposed to being like at the end of your life and saying, "Oh, I wish I would have done this."
Yeah, what do you tell your children?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always think about that. Like, my nieces think, like, because I'm doing something that's not traditional, that I'm the coolest aunt forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, you are pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
I mean, come on, let's keep,
Like,
keep it a little bit real, right? Like,
I guess so.
Right.
But I just feel like, it's cool to be a teacher. It's cool to be, but I want to tell them, like, yeah, that's what I do. I don't want to be like, yeah, that's what I do.
Right.
Yeah, working with kids. You want to be enthused. You only go around one time.
Right.
Do everything. Everything.
And I know that you're currently working on an ebook.
Yes.
Where you are, I guess, giving people a kind of an instructional, right, on how to lead the 9 to 5.
Yes.
And just enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Like,
Right.
really, like how to use what you have to pretty much get what you want.
Right.
And had I not had those experiences, with sociology, I wouldn't really know how to deal with people as much.
Right.
I wouldn't have had the patience if I wouldn't have had gone through all of the stuff that I went through to get to this point that I'm at. I'm patient now. I know that it'll come. I'm confident now. I know because I put in the work. It doesn't have a choice but to come. Like, I've done all this work.
No.
So.
And I mean, but so that's the confidence of just knowing that you put in the work, you have the skill set.
Yes.
You have the discipline.
I have the discipline.
And you have the wherewithal to kind of go through the bumps. And
exactly.
You know what I mean? You've been through how many valleys?
I've been through so many deep valleys.
Right.
People have no idea.
No, we discussed like these deep moments of despair that no one knows that you go through throughout the course of this. But what's interesting is that I think my deepest moments of despair came when I knew I wasn't doing what I should be doing. Like,
that's really hurtful.
When I'd be like going to work every day and it's kind of like, this is not what I should be doing. This doesn't feel right anymore.
It's haunting you.
Every day you wake up and you're dragging yourself because you want
to be your 100% self.
No, I mean you know it.
Yeah.
You know it. So what's next for you, P? I mean, you're a beast.
Oh my God, no.
You're a beast. You're beasting. So what's next?
So what's next for me? Honestly, I am doing a style box, which I've been promoting.
Okay.
So the style box right now is for influencers. So new designers, small boutiques, people with products. They send them to me. I promote them on a bigger platform. I promote them with people with 100,000 followers to like 4 million followers.
Okay.
So that they can get promotion for their products. So that's another service that I'm offering. And it's kind of like a give and take because what I'm doing is getting my style box out there, which will eventually be a subscription box, which will basically be, you'll get about 5 items every quarter.
Okay.
And you'll subscribe and pay monthly or pay, you can pay monthly or you can pay for the year. But that's pretty much what people will be signing up for
what's coming
soon.
next. I mean,
that's what's coming next.
And that's probably like going to be the next big thing.
It's definitely going to be the next big thing. Bundle shopping alone is a big thing. So I'm just putting it in a box. When you go shopping, you don't buy one thing anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you stop at the register, you see like a little spray. You might
No,
buy
absolutely.
this,
I mean, I think that I probably spent
sunglasses.
more products like on a Sephora line when you're like online.
Exactly.
Like you just like, oh, I'll get this. Oh,
that's it.
Big bold lash. That sounds interesting.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what the box is about. Like if they gave you a box at the counter, that would be a beauty box.
Right.
Because you've already grabbed all your little trinkets. So the style box will be a full look. And plus things to go with the look, whether it be like a new lip gloss that's out, whether it be a new hair product that's out, whether it be a new trendy item, a piece of jewelry, all those things will be in the box. And that'll get you through the next few months until the next box.
Do you take interns? Like, do you take assistants and interns?
I do. And I just posted that I was looking for assistants and interns. Okay. And I got a plethora of emails that I have to go through.
Right.
So, yes, I do.
You
and
do.
I'm definitely in need of.
So you're willing to give back and all of that?
Yes, for sure. I had one amazing intern. Her name was Kiana. And She went off to do her own thing.
The nerve of
The
Kiana.
nerve of her, but she's a Leo
Yeah,
like me. I knew she was leaving.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wasn't staying. She had her plan.
I had an
and,
amazing intern named Catherine, and
Yeah.
she's moving to London, and she's
when they
like
go, man.
super smart. Bye,
Yeah.
Catherine.
Pardon
Anyway,
me.
I
Yeah.
feel like so long.
I know.
Farewell, stay in
Yes,
touch.
that's how I am with Kiana. I think
Right.
about her all the time, but she's doing amazing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So so I'm also that's what I'm doing business wise, and I'm also thinking about relocating to Atlanta or LA.
Don't leave.
I have to for a little while. I'll be back.
Okay. Keep your place here.
Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna go live, in these different places for 3 months at a time. I just need to mix it up. I need more inspiration. I need more motivation. I need.
You know what though? The freedom of being able to say, you know what? I think I might move to Atlanta or to LA for a little while and but that's what following your passion will give you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gives you
It
that kind of
does.
freedom of knowing that it's going to all work out.
It's really priceless because honestly, and I'm not in a bragging space or in a space where I can be like, girl, you need to just leave that job. I'm not there.
Right.
Trust me. I just know how it feels to get up and go to work and have a half-hour lunch and you got calls to make, business calls or
Right.
family calls, and you get this half-hour lunch and you don't like the people every day that you work with every day.
Right.
I don't have to work with anybody every day. If I don't
Right.
want to talk to you, I'm not going to answer. I'll talk
I'm
to you
not-
later.
yeah.
I'll email you.
Right.
Or I'll just tell you to talk to
Everything's
my
on your
assistant.
own terms.
And I'm really grateful. I can say that. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because you have slow times. You have down times. Holiday season, people are buying gifts. They're not thinking about consultations. Maybe they'll see me in October and we develop a plan for the holiday season. They see me in January. So I'm just
I'm sure you
I have other things.
You can work.
but
You can
I
work.
miss
Yeah.
them.
No. But I think that So I honestly,
Yeah.
Pia, I think that your story is super inspiring, and
Thank you.
I'm so inspired by you.
Good.
And I'm so happy that we were put together to have this. I don't believe in
Yes.
coincidences, so everything
Definitely
is
not.
serendipitous. And
I agree.
so I think we went a little bit long,
Did
right?
we?
But
Did we run long?
a little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
But it was good, right?
Okay, good. I hope people enjoyed it. Okay.
Yeah, no, for
Okay.
sure. I mean, I can keep going.
Okay.
But I guess listeners and followers, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Unexpected Success with me,
Yes.
Joy, and Pe'a Monique.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Oh,
I
I'm
had
so happy
fun.
you came.
Yes,
So
it was
happy you
fun.
came.
It was
You
fun.
can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, and Podbean. Please hit subscribe and leave a review once you've listened.
Yes.
Until then, Pia, keep winning.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
And I hope we can stay in touch.
Yes, for sure. Of
No,
course.
seriously.
No, seriously.
I mean,
We definitely
no.
can.
Okay. All right, guys. Until next time. Woo! We did it.
Yes, we did.